The wound is the place where the light enters you. Rumi. Welcome to Raw, Real Absolute Wisdom. Just like the quote, the focus of this show is to assist you, is to serve you, is to inspire you to pass through your failures, celebrate those failures, and focus on your success. We welcome you once again to Raw, Real Absolute Wisdom. My name is Rohit Bassi. I am your host.
Today we have an amazing individual with us. So especially for you listeners and viewers, this man is, I would say, I call him Doc Uncle. But before we go into all what he is, we're going to talk to him about success. And many people come to you about success. Why?
I mean, what about success? They're successful, nobody comes to me.
No, this is the reason. That's why I'm asking is, why do they come to you specifically about being successful?
I don't know. See, people have a problem that they're not succeeding. It's not about success. Those who are successful, they will not come to me. Only unless they want to go to another level of success. Okay. And the reason they come to me is because I'm successful. Okay. So that is one of the reasons. Second is, the reason people are not successful is they are not consistent. They are not persistent. They are not committed. It's just a hit and trial method. Let me try this out. Let me try that out. That is how people are going about it. They really don't know what they have to do in life. So they really need to know why they are born. What was the purpose that they came into this world? They have decided the purpose and only then they come. Okay. So it took me years to decipher this. Somewhere around 60. I wish I knew all this information somewhere when I was much younger. So my life would not have had all these ups and downs and trials and errors. So, all the time, okay, let's go try this. If we don't succeed, we'll try something else. We'll do this. So that is not the right way. And that is what causes stress. Okay. That is what causes confusion. And people say, okay, should I do it? Should I not do it? He said to do it. That person is saying, don't do it. So I don't know what to do. I need to take a decision. Okay. So basically, in the earlier stages, what I understood was that they don't have a decision-making ability of what is right. So they need to learn how to decide. The only way you can decide is not by going and asking every Tom, Dick and Harry or every teacher or everything. They need to awaken the teacher inside themselves. The person that awakening the teacher helps them to decide. Take a decision. And once you have taken a decision, then it becomes easy. And the indecisiveness is the cause. And that is why the trial and error and doing this or that. But one should have a clarity from the very beginning.
So it's awakening the teacher within.
Number one.
For the viewers, for the listeners, for the record, you said you're born into this world and you're confused. People get confused. What is your name?
My name is Ramesh.
Ramesh. Full name?
Segu Krishna Ramesh.
Segu Krishna Ramesh.
I have a longer name too.
Okay, so let's say, what's the longer name?
Segu Krishna Rajalu Rama Linga Swami Ramesh Chetty.
Okay, that's a very long name.
Yes, but everything had a significance.
Okay, so
I never realized it that this long name was there, and every sound from each of those letters was important for my growth and development.
Okay.
So we need to realize that when we come into this world, from one world to the other world, if that's what you believe, if that's what your faith says or culture says, is there are two things you carry from one life to the other life. One is the sound, which is going to actually activate you, which is going to be the very power for you to be able to manifest whatever you want. Okay. And the second thing is the thumbprint. Have you realized that all over the world, thumbprint is an identification system and the thumbprint is unique. We all look same, we all are human, but still our thumbprints are very unique. Okay. And the purpose of that uniqueness is that you have a unique purpose. Okay. In fact, you have a unique purpose. So you already know what is the purpose for which you are coming and for what you have to fulfill. And remember, the purpose of coming and the fulfillment is not just for an individual purpose. You are here to create something, to leave back something, contribute to the growth of this universe, which is continuously every moment growing with each pulsation.
Okay.
So you're not just here by chance. There's a purpose. And plus, in order to do that purpose, you have to achieve 3 kinds of purposes, 3 kinds of destinies. Personal destiny, the professional destiny, and the social destiny.
Okay.
So all these 3 things are important. Now for me, I had a very colorful life. I enjoyed myself. I had ups and downs. And then finally, I created so many beautiful things. And I really didn't know why I was creating. Of course, I was enjoying creating it. So that took me forward. Okay. I failed. I hurt myself. Okay. But whenever I failed, of course, it's quite depressing for everybody. But we need to understand that each failure is a lesson of growth. When you fail, you fall. Right? So when you fall down, what do? You get up. The same thing. So every failure is like a fall. And you get up stronger. And you go ahead. But the key is that decision making of going ahead is important. And they get caught up in the fear. Array, maybe I will fall back again. Maybe I will fail again. And that holds you back. That is the block. So we need to work on all these things. And where does the knowledge of all this exist? Not in the Google. Not in Facebook, not in this place, not in the books, not in your education, not in the knowledge. It all lies within your heart. All that knowledge is there, and there's an invisible anatomy where this knowledge is. We really need to know where it is, and we need to have an idea of tapping. That's the second step. So, if you don't have a clarity, so now when you're born, you're still aware of your purpose till the age of 3.5 to 4. This was my realization. Okay? After that, you start forgetting. Then you don't remember. And then that is when the hit and trial system happens. You really don't know. And you just watch the herd and do what the herd does. Either become a doctor or become an engineer during my days. That is how it was.
So, talking about doctor, engineer, by profession, you were a doctor.
I'm still a doctor.
You're still a doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go deeper into what you're doing at the moment, why did you become a doctor? And what did you specialize in?
Oh my God, that's a long story. You want to hear that
We
story?
need a short story.
There's no time limit. You better record everything and you cut it afterwards.
I will do my best.
Okay. See, I was very impressed by my father. He was a very well-known engineer, structural engineer. And he always wanted me to be an engineer. And so I still remember as a child, I think 8 or 9 years old, and I always had a fear of my dad because if he comes when I'm doing my homework, I've had it. So one day I was doing my homework and I realized that he came in. Immediately I became alert inside. And then I said, oh my God, he's going to come at the back. So he stood there and I'm doing, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing my mathematics homework. And so okay, let me watch what you do over my shoulder. And then I wrote the answer very carefully. I got a tap on my head. Immediately, I changed the answer. I got a second tap on my head. I said, Dad, what happened? Why are you doing this? He said, first you were right. Then why did you hit me? Just to see whether you're sure of yourself.
It's like an ancient master coming up to you and saying...
Okay. Second time, why did you hit me? Because you were unsure and you made a mistake. Okay. So, but I said, Dad, this is not right. This is what you always do with me, but you don't do it with my sisters. You really love them and hug them and everything, but not with me. All the time you're tapping, hitting it all. So I don't understand you. Useless fellow. And he walked off.
Useless fellow, and he walked. So you didn't get the third one, but you got a useless fellow.
Okay. And then we go on, and so I started, this continued to happen, and I talked to my mom and I said, Mom, he doesn't love me. He said, no, darling, he loves you. He really loves you. Okay. But I said, it doesn't seem so. And then I became very careless in my life. Okay. He always wanted me to be an engineer.
Okay.
And if I be an engineer, I'm totally under his control. And all my life, I'll be only getting this. But then as it went, because I was careless, I started performing badly in school. And then I failed in grade 9.
Okay.
And when I failed, that was the most difficult moment for me. And, I was really frightened. How am I going to tell him? And I finally, holding mom's sari, I went to him and I told him, look, Papa, I have failed. He looked at me. And I had failed in Hindi. Okay? And that's not my mother tongue. But for him, it's nothing. So he said, you're good for nothing.
Wow.
Okay? The only thing you can do is go to the south where my elder brother is, and he has a grain shop. You can go pick up the sacks and put it there. That's the kind of job you're good for. There's no need for you to study anymore. I said, no, I can take the exam. There's a retake of an exam, so I can take the exam. And he said, okay, take the retake, and then I'll be promoted to the next class. I take the retake, and I fail again.
Oh.
That was really difficult.
So here's a doctor who's failed in the 9th grade, and he doesn't know what's going to happen next.
Okay. So then when I failed, and then that was the worst moment of my life. It was as if I was in a pit. I don't know what to do. And then finally, when I'm in that deep pit, I've literally fallen. And then I say, okay, I think the best solution would be to change my subject from mathematics and do not become an engineer as my father wants to. And I also wanted to because he was a celebrated engineer. I said, no. So that way I'll get out of his control. So I went to him and suggested that. And also I was feeling very bad that all friends of mine from nursery school to grade 9, they would go to the next class, and I was ashamed of that, and they would mock at me and make fun of me, and it was a boys' school. So I wanted to get out of that also and get out of my father's control also, and I decided that I shall go and do biological sciences. So when I decided biological sciences to become a doctor, because those are the only two things, engineer or doctor those days. So when I decided to do that, then I went to my papa and I told him, and he said, okay, you can try your luck, 1 more year. Okay? But I had to change schools. And when I changed school, I went from a boys' school to a co-ed school. Okay. Now, co-ed school, and I was in my teenage, all the attractiveness and, attraction towards the opposite sex is all there. So I started dressing up nicely. I was not careless anymore. I was very more careful. And I started studying and very hard. And I excelled in my studies. And so there has to be a motivation. There has to be an environment change when something is not happening properly. So it's the environment change and the motivation. Suddenly I started performing extremely well, better than what my classmates who were there in the senior class in the other school. So that was very interesting. And a person who was shy, who didn't want to do anything, suddenly becomes an excellent debater, an excellent extempore speech, good in acting, okay, becomes the school leader. Okay, so everything started happening, and grade 10 comes, I do mathematics there, and I get 100 out of 100. So I'm so proud, and I go to my father and say, look, I got 100 out of 100. Lower mathematics? You got 100? What's great about that? Again demotivating. Yeah. And I'm already trying to see that I can help and I can impress my father, and I'm trying to seek his attention. And that's what we all do, try to seek other people's attention. What is important is not to seek others' attention. But it was also a way I was being structured, the way I was evolving in my life, the way my destiny was shaping up. That's important. The way I think, the desires I have, what is it I want to do, all these are also unique for each one of us, so that we fulfill that very purpose. Okay, and then I go and represent the All India meet, and I get the first prize for mono acting, first prize for the debating, first prize for extempore, and I come with all these awards also. But my father is not present for the award ceremony. He's too busy. He's never there to acknowledge what I am doing. And that was bothering me. And so that itself pushes me that I need to seek that attention. I need to be acknowledged. And so I started working harder. And of course, I came 11th in the All India High Secondary, even better than all my friends who had gone into the senior batch. So in a way, this failure was useful. It brought me and shaped me up into another person for me to achieve the destiny. My father was already world famous and I had to become world famous. That's the dream. If my father is there, and the father's dream is that my son does better than this. But I've already gone off to another subject. Okay, I'm doing something else. So that's still lingering inside me. And that is why we choose the parents. We wait for the right parents, the right ancestry. And we also wait for the right date and time, because everything from the frequencies and the astrology and everything. So we are the ones who choose before we descend into that fetus on the 48th day in order for the thing to happen. So that was amazing realization that I realized then. But I'm now trying to picture all that what happened in my life in the story and trying to tell how important that is. Okay, so everything is designed. But if I had the clarity of what to do, I would have been much better than whatever I performed. I would know what is my path. Once I know my destiny, I will have total clarity that this is the direction I have to take. And it will also resonate with my passion, with my likings. So there are many methods to find the destiny. And moment you know the destiny, and that clarity you need to get is by awakening the teacher inside you. The moment you awaken the teacher, automatically destinies, you can get a total clarity of the destiny, because what the purpose of your life is also imprinted within. And we can find it. And we can come with clarity and we'll decide, and we know that this is the path we have to take. So that's the most important, and the first step is finding out the purpose and the destiny. And that is the reason, because people don't know what their destiny is, what their purpose is. That is why they do not succeed. We also talk of passion. Okay, of course, the passions keep changing. Every 9 years it changes. Every 9 years there's a new version of you. You need to be creating it. Now, for example, I'm 66 years old. I'm 7 versions. I never knew all this information. And all this information I realized once I stopped reading books and going to teachers, and I decided that I need to take all the decisions, not anybody else. We go and listen. Okay, let me go. I listen to my father. He's an engineer. He wants to be an engineer. So what his experience is only about engineering. His experience has nothing to do with the medicine I have. So how can he advise me? Of course, we do respect. Their life experience is there. It can have a personal effect. But professionally, what we want to do and achieve and carve the path which we need to carve and look at the North Star or the direction we need to take, we should do. Why should we make mistake and come back again, make a mistake, come back again, make a mistake, come back again? There may be a role. There are ways people talk about it. It's very important. But if we're clear, we can do much better work than all this. So carving the path is the second. So to carve the path, you need the knowledge. Now, if you have come for a purpose, you have come with that knowledge of how to carve the path. It's within you.
Okay. So you're talking about awakening the teacher within you. So you practiced medical.
Yes.
Okay. When did the transformation happen to what you're doing now?
Listen, all the time transformation happening. Initially, what was the thing? Engineer. Mathematics. Okay. Didn't it by accident, by putting me into that situation, the transformation happened from there to there. Okay, it was meant to happen. I need to do it. So this is a part of the training of what to do. But mine was hit and run. Okay, so when I do the training and then I come to a situation, we are put into a situation, we feel that whatever we are doing is incomplete. It's not sufficient. There is more to it. So you will come into that. And that, how did I come? When my wife got rheumatoid arthritis.
Ah, okay. And this was at what age?
That was around 40.
40, okay.
Before that, I've had many failures. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
Much before 40.
Yeah. So, what happened was, I came to Dubai. There's so many stories. I don't want to tell all the stories.
Yeah.
Okay. And then another thing I learned was I saw the Dubai bug. Everybody's in a business and everybody's making money. I also want to open a business. I also want to do. So I had come here for 5-6 years as a doctor, and now I had enough money, and I decided to invest in a business, and I invested in it. $200,000, all gone down the drain in 1 year.
Okay.
I learned. The lesson was, don't do what you don't know.
Interesting.
Never try to attempt something which you have not been educated on, or you have the experience, or you have an ancestral background for your support. If you don't have it, please don't even attempt it. Attempt something which you know and which you have the experience on, and then take it from there.
Okay, so that's interesting. You say that, for example, you were meant to go into engineering, but then you became a doctor, and you got nothing to do being a doctor. So how does that relate? That you attempted to do something. Which
I have nothing to do. A doctor means, what do you mean?
So
I was supposed to be a doctor, and only then whatever I'm doing today, that was the background. That was the foundation. What do I do today? I have a full university for transformation and wellness sciences, bachelor's, master's, PhD, doctor of science degrees, which I'm teaching in 5 continents. Why am I teaching? So there was a reason. I had an experience to set up a medical school. I had experience to set up trauma center. I had experience to teach continued medical education for the country. These experiences and these challenges were given, and it was being developed for me to grow into that. And I was enjoying it. And that is when the disease happened. Of course, the rheumatoid arthritis started at a very young age, okay, for my wife. But finally, it took into a very big thing at somewhere around 40 when I decided to leave. And when did I decide to leave? Because I wanted to go for a search. What is disease? I wanted to understand what disease was. Because now we didn't know what rheumatoid arthritis causes. Being an orthopedic surgeon, and I cannot treat and I don't know the cause, all I'm doing is giving medicines. Does it make sense? And giving steroids or anti-cancer drugs to just to suppress the disease, but never remove it from the root cause. So I wanted to find what the root cause of the disease is. So that is when I went for the root cause of the disease, search for the disease, that's when the change started happening. And when I found out what is the very cause of disease at any level, that was the exciting moment. That started triggering me into going towards the direction I was actually meant to go. Okay. So all this was necessary for it to happen. The failures were necessary for it to happen. Okay, many people would say, okay, this should have happened. But I think if we really know what it is, we can, if we have achieved a certain potential of, let's say, 50% as a result of all this, if I really was very clear, I could have achieved 100% potential at this stage.
So clarity is extremely important.
Yes.
That is what you're saying.
Yeah, clarity, decision making.
Clarity, decision making. So before going to decision making, how does one get clarity? So there's people who are listening out there, different ages. Some might be listening because they are going through certain failures. Some want to be more successful. It could be their work, their business, their relationship, whatever it is. How does one gain clarity?
Okay. Now, clarity is by stopping the thinking process which is happening unnecessarily. Thinking, okay, if I do this, this will happen. If I do that, that will happen. So these are always the struggle, the stresses which are happening. Should I not, should I not, should I? And that's why they never get a clarity. But what they are meant to do, and there's no duality. This is all duality. So duality, in order to stop duality, you need to stop thinking and you need to start listening to the heart. Very easily said. Everybody says this. Everyone says it. But you need to really know the process of how to get to the heart. Okay. And that was the first exercise which was born in my realization when I was put into a tight situation in Mongolia on the stage in front of 1,000 people. And that realization happened of how to get it and how to silence the mind. And it's so simple, I tell you. And we make it so complex. We try to go to so many trainings and workshops and all. All the time we exist here. Yeah. All we need to do is go from here to the nose, to the lips, to the chin, to the throat, to the upper chart, to the heart, and focus. And just do this now. All of you try to do it now and see what happens. And keep your focus in the space between the hand and S. Have you noticed suddenly that your head has become quiet? Everything is silent. Your body becomes changed. That is the art. It's simply walking down from top.
And that's literally, we've done it in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, you just have to walk down. And that stops. And once that stops, then you make a statement. What is it? To get clarity. I want to get clarity. I want to do this. Something. And you don't know whether to do it or not to do it. Okay. That's the situation. So when you make that statement, if it is a yes, you will feel good. Now this is subjective. But if you measure at the same time the heart before the question and after the question, you will see that the heart also starts becoming very patient and the waves become completely different. Okay. That's transformed. So that is an objective method. Not the objective, that is an investigative method. And there's also an objective method.
Okay.
Now, ask the question, see what is your strength, because we are relating to it, and after measuring the strength with kinesiology, then you ask the question. And then again measure the strength. If it is a no, your strength will become weak.
Okay.
If it's a yes, it will become yes. So you can measure it investigatively, objectively, subjectively. There are many methods of doing it, and you can use any sort of instrumentation you want. If you do an energy photograph, when you ask that question, your body you will see that the energy becomes brighter. But if the answer is no, it becomes dull.
Okay.
Now, all these, that means you know what is right. The knowingness is inside you. That's why I'm talking that all the knowledge is inside. So once you know that, you need to go for it. That has given you clarity. Absolutely, you have to get clarity for the direction. And then you can go for it. So it gives you answers to everything, whether it's your career, whether it's the profession you have to take, whether it's the person you want to marry. Okay, what will happen, whether this family is there, this place is right. Everything can be measured by all these 3-4 criteria. And you will have clarity that you're taking the right decision. You might feel everything is right, but what's going to happen? You won't know. And I've experienced all these things. And that's why I'm talking to you with so much of confidence. Because I'm sure of what I'm talking. And I'm not talking from books. I'm not talking from other teachers. It's my real true experience. You know, when somebody tells you something and it's making sense to you, and you feel, yeah, what he says makes sense. I believe this guy. But just believing is of no use. You need to take that belief, because when you believe the guy, but it's his truth, not your truth. It's just a belief.
Okay.
You need to take it within you, experience it, make it your reality. That whatever he said, it really works for me. Then it becomes a reality, your truth.
Okay.
So you have to always make it your truth.
So I remember a conversation with you way back ago, and I mean, we've known each other for now, I think it's 4 or 5 years, maybe. And I remember I came to you, and you said a very interesting phrase to me. You said, the stress, the fear, the pain, the confusion, not having that clarity is because of absence of love. Now, what does it mean by saying absence of love?
Okay. Good. You know, there are different levels of our existence, a mental existence, a physical existence, and emotional existence. They are all interrelated. Okay. The reason why we have stress at any level is as a result of a lack. There's something missing. Let's say, for example, I get hungry and then I have to eat and I don't get the food, I start getting angry. So that's the stress starting. You know, and it can go to different levels, and I don't want to extend on this story. That could be a completely different story. So and why are you getting angry? Because you're hungry. The moment you give food, your anger also subsides. Same way, if there's a lack of love, of being loved. Okay? Love is a form of energy, just like food. It's a form of nutrition. And we being social beings, we desire companionship, whether it's from the mother, brothers, sisters, father. Okay? They all have to be there, and they all have to have love. See, for example, I tell my grandson, you know, he's running around. Grandson, do you know I love you? Yes, Grandpa. He's 4 years old. I know you love me, and I also love you a lot. He will listen to me. He will not listen to anybody shouting or anything. I said, grandson, come here, what happened? And he will come and have a conversation with me. I have a conversation with him, and I tell him I love him. He's understanding everything. He says, if you talk to me gently, I'm understanding. If you shout at me, I don't want to do it. Can you see?
Yeah.
So, that's what I meant. If love is missing, you can become miserable, not only emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. So that's one of the form of nourishment people need. So if you had that love at that time, and you had sufficient amount of it, you wouldn't be in the state what you were.
Going on with this thing called love, many people say love yourself. How does one achieve that?
Love yourself, so simple, man.
Yeah.
Just say, importance is, Rohit, talk to yourself. Rohit, I really love you. You have to be in love with your own self. You have to appreciate every aspect of you, your eyes, your hair, your beauty. You have to look at yourself and whatever you have been able to do. I really love what I have done. You need to learn how to talk to yourself. You know the power, I told you the sound.
Yes.
Okay. So your name is not by accident. You know, we go and look for solutions everywhere, whereas you're carrying the solution within yourself. You need to understand that your name and your sound, everybody else calling you, but you have never called yourself. And the very inner source gets potentiated when you use your own sounds on your own name and address yourself. For example, you can listen to it now. Okay. And my name is Ramesh. Everybody else addresses me as Ramesh. And there are different stages when I was addressed as Segu, then Ramesh or Chetty, different, but Ramesh is the commonest. Okay. So when they address, everybody addresses me, but I have never addressed myself as Ramesh. So it was somewhere around 64 or something I realized that we carry our solution. We carry our name. Okay. And that is the master solution for all our stresses. Okay. So I would like to do the test for you.
Yes.
And then you tell me what's your experience.
Okay.
And because, we don't believe in programming people.
Yes.
And we are a system of deprogramming. If you program somebody to say that people, always we teach them, okay, you do this, this will happen. In fact, you make it happen. Psychologically, you go into that framework. I don't want to do that. I want you to do an exercise. And then you see what's the change inside you. Okay. For example, put your hands forward like this. Straight. Now, I will try to push you. It's not about using your muscles. It's nothing to do with physical strength. Okay. So I'm going to push you and we'll see what is your status.
I'm lifting up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're losing balance and this time.
My feet were completely up.
Okay. So this is your state. So we can measure at different levels.
Okay.
So now I want you to close your eyes. Okay. And everybody can listen. And I want you to go into your left ear, left middle ear, left inner ear. And your name is Rohit.
Yes.
And listen to these sounds. Don't open your eyes. Take your glasses off. Okay, open your eyes. Do you feel something? It's yes and no. Do you feel a difference in yourself?
Yes.
What is the difference? Is there a difference in the
silence?
Silence. Left side and right side, any difference?
I don't know, for some reason I can see much more clearer from there.
Left side.
Yes.
Okay, look at the camera and see. Let them all see. Is there a difference in your face on the right side and left side? Okay. Turn back. Yes. Your left side is more showing, smoother. The marks are less. Okay. Even the dark shadows are less. The wrinkles here are less. Okay. Can you imagine all these changes happen as a result of listening to your name?
Just
on the left ear. Okay. Now we'll do it again.
Okay.
This time you join me.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
How do you feel now? Show the face. Can you see the difference in the right half and left half of the face? This is for the viewers to view. Carefully watch it and see all. So look at the texture, look at this line which is there, look at under the eyes, look at the dark shadow, look at his forehead lines, look at the opposite side, look whether it is thinner or thicker, and whether see if it is raised up, and then you can see all those changes on him. And you can see completely different. Left is different and right is different. So all as a result of you chanting just your name. And can you notice that the stresses are so less? And can you see the left half and right half is different?
I feel stronger on the left side.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So was this your first experience on this?
No, so this is something, I remember a number of years, somebody had told me about this, or I don't know, Yes, Dale Carnegie, I said, the sweetest name you can say to anyone is their name. So I said, why don't I say my own name? And then I remember last year I'd met you and you did the similar exercise with me as well. And ever since that, I've been doing that. In the middle I stopped, but this year I started again.
Okay.
And I saw the difference in my own energy and being attracted to stronger feelings of such as love, peace, joy, rather than feeling the fear, the shame, the guilt.
Okay. Look again. Can you see the difference in his face as the time passes and how his body is trying to adjust to this? The left half is completely different from the right half. And now close the right eye, please, with your hands.
Okay.
And look at that camera. Okay? And then close this eye and look at the other eye. And then tell us what's the difference.
This is
not so clear as...
Not so clear compared to the left one.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that means even your vision improves. That's the power of your name and the power of your sound. This I realized after so many years. If I knew this, I could have used this all my life for bringing about changes and getting rid of the stresses and getting out of the depression and failure. Now, we have to balance it.
Okay, sorry.
We need to do it on the right side. Okay. Focus into the left, right ear,
Okay.
right middle ear, right inner ear. And now chant along with me. Ro, he, the. We'll do it twice. Ro, he, the. Go into the center of the head, between the ears and between the front and the back of the head. Come into that mid portion. Ro, he, the. Ro, he, the. Very good.
Oh, it's
What happened? Oh, it is what?
same.
Huh?
Yeah,
And how is the room?
brighter.
The room is brighter.
I can see your eyes much clearer.
You accept clarity of vision is there.
Yeah.
Now, did we change the brightness of the room? No. Did I change myself? No. But you appreciate more clarity in me and you look at me and you'll find me more glowing and shining
Yes,
than before.
I am, and the thing is, I can't live without my glasses, but still I can see the glow.
No. Wear the glasses and see what's the difference.
God, you're looking much younger.
It's looking much younger. So, we really, all these masks can be removed and we really see the true person. Can you imagine if we can do this every day? And in fact, if you can talk, say, hey, talk to yourself. Rohit, good morning. Let's get up. Go, 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 go. Let's go and have breakfast. Let's drive down to this place. And Rohit. You keep talking to yourself, Rohit. The very potential and energy rises. You not only get clarity, you're stress-free, you're disease-free, and it becomes disease-free if you practice. But unfortunately, people don't even try to practice. How will they get committed? How are they going to carve the path? All the solutions lie within.
It's interesting you say people don't get committed. This is an extremely simple thing. It doesn't require any kind of money, just a little bit of your time, nominal time. And you're doing it for yourself. Why is that people are not willing to apply something simple such as this?
Because they've been programmed to believe complicated and they're programmed to believe where they will pay, then that's the thing you need to do. So, and anything which is free is of no value. They do not value themselves also.
Okay, interesting.
You have to value yourself and value this knowledge, and the value of this increases with your practice and the results you get, then only it becomes valuable.
Okay.
Till you don't practice, it doesn't become valuable. And the more you practice and the more results, the more confidence, it moves. It moves.
So the analogy which comes into my mind, it's like when you're first attempting to ride a bike and you fall.
Yes.
And you get up again and you do it again. And finally at one time, you are able to do it. And then years go by, you're not riding a bike. And then you attempt to ride the bike again. Initially, it's a bit tough. But then you start doing it again.
But the problem is, once you know something and you have mastered it and it becomes unconscious in you, then you don't focus your attention on that. That thing gave you such a lot. You need to focus on the unconscious. Now we breathe. and we take it for granted.
Yes, very true.
And we do unconscious breathing or on autopilot.
Yes.
When you really consciously breathe and go with the air inside, like they teach you in the various forms of exercise, have you noticed the change?
Yes.
So whenever you do something, you need to do it consciously.
So
Maybe all this name thing will become part and parcel of you, but if you're doing it unconsciously, it's of no value. You need to do something really consciously with full feeling, full focus, full attention, full awareness, and you need to do it. Only then you will get your commitment. Now, when you start doing all this and this exercise, automatically fear will go away. Fear is the reason why you don't succeed, why you don't take action, why you don't take the risk, because of the fear. And you need to become fearless in order to succeed. Very important. You need to become fearless to carve your path, because you've already got clarity. There are many methods of getting clarity. Huh? Not only that. So I can help you get clarity, and there's so many others, and that's not the topic of discussion.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have to carve the path. And the knowledge to carve the path is within yourself. Once you tap it and you carve the path, and in order to carve the path, you have to become fearless. You need to have courage. You need to be committed. You need to have capability. That was my medical education, or whatever I learned in life and everything, and my failures in business. That is what brought me the capability to do all this, even getting all those experiences to set up a med school, to do this. So all these things were capabilities which were going to be put together in order to finally create the centers and the full worldwide whatever I do. Okay? And the more you get these capabilities, you become humble. Ego doesn't come in. And you get wealth at every level. Of course, we all are looking for wealth at financial level, and it's necessary for your personal existence. So you need to be fully satisfied at your personal level. Then your purpose level. So when you are fully satisfied at the personal level is as good as reaching the first level of enlightenment and realization.
Okay.
The first step of that. You need to further make it strong. You need to get into your soul. So the moment you get into the soul and you go deeper, then you come to, from being I to we. Then you start thinking of everybody.
Okay.
And that's the next level of realization and enlightenment. And those steps start when you are concerned not for your family and yourself, but for the whole world, for the universal growth.
Okay.
And when you come to that level, that is the time all the purpose of your life, whatever you create, you leave back as a legacy, and that is called the growth of the universe.
Okay.
So you are meant to grow. You are meant to be the co-creator. You have to be the co-creator. Because you're assisting in the total creation of the creator, and all of us are creating it, and that contribution is the reason of growth. Just imagine how telephones were there before.
Yes.
And now look at the telephones in the hand and how much of communication and media which is happening. That's a kind of contribution. And all those people who work towards that, they gave that contribution, but finally that's contributing to the growth of the universe. And we are becoming better and stronger and everything. So all of us are meant for that. So we need to fulfill our personal, individual purposes of existence and satisfied, and whatever we are supposed to, let's say, dissolve this karma and all those things people talk about, dissolve it, then you come to the universal purpose. You need to come to the new version. Okay? So I started with my individual purpose.
Okay.
And somewhere in early 2000, I had already come to my universal purpose. I never knew all this. I realized all this as I grew, when I had my near-death experience during the hemorrhagic dengue. So, universal purpose, and I'm fulfilling the universal purpose of, and I didn't even know what was the purpose. And when I found out, my main purpose was to help people realize that life is not complicated. It's very simple. The teacher aspect is inside you, just awaken it. Second, all the knowledge is inside you, tap it. Third, the purpose is written there. Find the purpose, follow, fulfill your destiny. Arrive at the destiny. And every 9 years we have a new destiny.
Interesting. Every 9 years you have a new destiny.
So there are new version of you being created. 101, 201, 301, 401, 501, 601, 701. I am at 701. Version. I never knew that. And now, being 66, I'm looking forward for the next 9 years. I'm creating my new version. And what will it be? 7 9s are 63, right? 9 7s are?
Yeah, 63.
So I am 66. So I'm already in that version. So I'm looking forward to plan this whole 9 years. To see what I want to be, where I want to be. We need to be very clear. What is that destiny? What is that purpose? Then I'm carving the path at the moment because I will be full-fledged going on 1st of January. Okay? And wealth, of course, is there. From the money point of view. But I'm wealthy even at a mental level, emotional level, spiritual level, physical level. I'm wealthy. I become younger and younger. Even though I'm much more old as per this. Chronologically, I'm old. But I'm younger, fitter. Nobody even wants to trust. So, and I want to look even more good. So, these all things. So, you should have clearly what's the next 9 years. What's your personal purpose and your health purpose, your life, everything, family, everything. Second, what you want to achieve in this world for the contribution. Third, at 9 years, I will say, wow, I'll look back and say, I achieved this and I'll be proud of it and arriving at the destination. And then I'm ready for 901. For the next 9 years. So keep at it.
Persistence, commitment.
Yeah. Courage, fearless state. Commitment. Don't budge left or right. Just like you started this and everybody was talking to you about all this. And when you came to me, I straight away told you, Rohit, don't leave this. What you're doing is absolutely beautiful work. Don't look at what it is. Just keep doing it. It will evolve. And whatever has to happen in your personal life, professional life, social life is going to happen. You're going to get all the results. Never try to do everything unconditionally without expectation. But enjoy. But do what you enjoy.
Yeah.
That is the key to growth. And never falter. Never. There may be ups and downs in your path. Don't falter. Go for it, complete it, and in that 9 years. You'll have another challenge after 9 years for the next level. So that is the key message. And that is what keeps me going. And you can see my enthusiasm. You can see my joy. You can see the power with which I speak. I get excited when I'm talking. Because...
So this power, this enthusiasm, how does your family take all of it?
My family?
Yeah.
Oh, they are happy. They love what I do, even though they don't say it on my face. But when I see other people...
By the way, his daughter's in the room at the moment.
And she's frowning. They do talk of their dad.
Yeah.
Outside, in their friend circle. And they will always say, my dad is this, my dad is that. And my wife will also never tell anything to me like that. She'll say, huh. Okay. But when she goes, she will always be talking. That my husband did this or this when he did this. So she's proud of that. She is happy about that. And but the woman in your life, the feminine force, is very important for the success. She looks after everything.
Why is it so important to have that feminine energy in your life?
Okay. 2 things. You are part feminine, part masculine.
Okay.
We all know many people are talking about it.
Yin, yang,
And
yang,
I will tell you one thing. I stopped reading from the age of 30.
Okay.
Only 2 years back, in order to expand it and understand the business world, I just went back to see and I realized that I have realized everything already without having to go to this world. And I just have to be true. Don't have to follow any formula. Just do it truthfully, honestly, for the sake of the people. Everything will come. Same thing.
And you wrote a book as well?
I wrote the book. I was forced to write. I was forced to write the book. I'm writing a video book now.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. So I was forced to write the book because whatever I know is already the past. So whatever I write is the past. But they said, no, you need to give the principles. And so I wrote the book because my students and teachers everywhere in the world told me so. I said, okay, fine. Okay. I did it. But what was I talking?
Feminine energy.
Feminine energy. So when we are born, although I am a male, I have a feminine force inside.
Okay, agreed.
So left half, let us say, is a feminine, right half is masculine. Okay. I look a male because my predominance is of the male force and the male hormones and the male qualities. Okay. We want a perfect balance. The ultimate human is perfectly balanced at the physical, at the masculine and the feminine. Okay. In order to get the feminine force to be strengthened, there are many ways of doing it. I get attracted to the feminine force. And the person you get attracted to and you feel is the person is giving the feminine strength to your feminine aspect. And you are giving the masculine aspect for that person. So you're made for each other. I strengthen her masculine. She strengthens my feminine. First step. Second step. There's a level at which, too much familiarity contempts breed. What's that?
Yes. It's the same, yep.
Breeds contempt.
Yep.
Okay. So you need to have space.
Okay.
So you should, in a day also, 8 hours, you're away with each other. That gives an attraction force for seeking that feminine aspect or the masculine aspect to each other. And you should also mix around. It's a very mixed society. Before it was not a mixed society. And so you need, if you have feminine friends, you should go and meet them also. There should be, you should go out so that you strengthen the feminine aspect inside you. Okay? And you also spend time with the boys' day out. Because the way we discuss things when we are with men is different. The way we discuss when we are with girls is completely different. And what the girls, so same is true for girls. Girls should have the girls' day out. And also if they have male friends to go, because you get different aspects. And they're all meant to be for that. So we need to bring it to a perfect balance. And that is one of the purposes of the species, of balancing the physical, feminine and masculine. And when you come into that stage, then only your potential rises to another level. And your potential, as it rises, a newer version of you is created. So let us say somebody gets enlightened. Okay? Enlightened, very simple word here. You just, wow. This is all there is to it. You realize that? That's enlightenment. That's all. So when you realize that, or that,
It's like the light is on.
a light on, in the early morning you realize a solution. And you get bright. So that is the steps of enlightenment. You don't have to separate. And you have to go on building this realizations and enlightenments to reach to the individual soul purpose or soul individual enlightenment. And then you go on to the universal enlightenment. So this is happening. So then when the potential rises, then only you can go to the next version. You have to be content and satisfied with the first 9 years, second 9 years, third 9 years. When you're content and satisfied at the 9 years, then the next level grows, the potential rises, and you become a new version. All the time keep creating the new you. It's all about you. You need to grow. You need to finally be the ultimate you, the super you. The next species and the next type of growth. So all these things are supposed to be going on inside you. Only then it happens. Now I have more versions. You think I'll finish at 101? No. I will continue to live. Now the reason we die is because everybody has told us
that we'll die.
Yeah. That is inevitable. Time is there. Our culture, our books, everything is writing that. But there were so many people who lived 300 years, 400 years, 500 years. God damn it, where did they live? How did they live? Okay? And when we will listen to it, we'll talk, oh, what nonsense, what crap. That's what we will say. I tell you, you hear that you got a cancer diagnosis. The moment you hear, potential dips down. Immediately, the only thing you know about cancer is inevitable death, early death.
Yes.
And damn it, you kill yourself. And the doctor says, few months, you definitely kill yourself in the few months. What nonsense? It's what you believe.
This is a doctor saying it himself.
So basically, you need to start building your potential, and you are the only one who can heal yourself, and you can do that. Nobody can heal you. Only you. So that is the key. So the moment we start changing the sentence that death is not inevitable, of course I'm going to live. Did you get that?
Yeah.
It's we who design our life with our beliefs and the programs. And the key is deprogramming. Deprogram and become absolutely empty. That doesn't mean you don't enjoy. A person who is enlightened comes back, okay, to real life. He's exactly like a human, fighting with his wife and this thing or scolding, shouting, everything. But he's in another level of realization. He knows that he's being human at this time. He can step himself up to that level if he wants to. And they start living a life in another way. So you don't have to be secluded and stay in the forest or something like that. Your energy can really expand if you want to.
Okay.
And you can reach out to anywhere in the universe. That's the message. Enough.
Now, a lot of the work which you talk about, and I've seen this, you always bring up this 369. What's the significance of this? Coming to that 369. What is so special about it?
One simple answer. Do we need to know the meaning always? No. One thing, I'll come to that. We always want to know why. Arey, damn it, if you like it, it's making sense, it makes you feel good, do it. Now I'll measure you. when you say 3, and you will see the difference.
Okay.
I'll measure you when I'll say 6, you'll
Okay.
see. And you'll measure you when we do 9, and you will see. Whether you're in a laboratory investigation, whether it's a blood. Now I will just say 3.
3.
And listen to me from your heart.
Okay.
3, 6, 9. Okay. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. 9. Say silently. 9, 6, 3. Do you feel different? Something happens to you?
Silence. I feel quieter.
So all these numbers are meant to take you from one level of potential to another level of potential. And as you go to the higher potential, 3 to 6 to 9, the silence and the depth of silence increases. And your creativity increases. You need to understand, in order to manifest anything in the world, where at any level, we have to come to this silent state. You have to come to this thoughtless state. You have to come to this doubtless state. When you come to silence, automatically you're thoughtless, doubtless, fearless. And that's when you make the statement. There's nothing going to contradict you saying, should I do this, should I not do this, in the silent state. Okay? And that is the stage when everything happens. And whatever you state at that time, with that clarity, you will manifest it. One is just to think that I want to do this. And you can erase it. But once you thought of it and you verbalize it, you've created the waves of manifestation with the sound. And it's going to go around everywhere. To all the universe, this sound is going to go. And if you have been grateful to the whole universe and all the spaces, whether it's the earth, country, this thing and all, and you work with all these things, when they hear this sound, they all start saying, wow, he's the man who expressed gratitude. We need to see that he succeeds in this. And these waves come back and come back and come back and become heavier and heavier and heavier, and they crystallize into a form, from a formless to a form. As long as it's a thought, it's formless. About the thought. The moment it becomes a voice, it has become a form, invisible form, waves.
So as soon as you verbalize it.
Yes, that is why always, whatever you want to create, only say that. Don't keep taking wrong sentences. Oh my God, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me.
And obviously
that's what is manifesting. So you can erase it till it is in that one-dimensional form of a thought. The moment it becomes a two-dimensional sound. And where does this all knowledge come from me? Who the hell is teaching me all this? Me, myself.
The question arises is, if you have verbalized it and it's something which is not productive for you,
yes,
how do you remove it out of the system?
Okay, from now on, stop doing it. That's all. So simple.
Just stop.
Yes, stop doing it and don't focus attention on it. That's
so
all.
focus.
And don't make it again statement.
Okay, so focus on...
Now that you're aware today, then start
That's
practicing that.
Okay.
What has happened has happened.
Past is past.
Past is past. Don't dwell on the past. Dwell on today. You learned something, start practicing it from today.
Okay.
That is the key. You'll come to the thoughtless, doubtless, fearless, stressless, painless states, and finally, eventually, you'll drop into a timeless and spaceless state. When you drop into the timeless, spaceless state of that silence, everything will manifest like that. Rohit, I really had fun talking to you.
It's good that you're having fun talking to me, because we're now going to come to the close of the interview. Just one or two questions to ask, maybe a third one. You're in a time where technology is playing such a big part. And you hear people saying technology, especially, you got people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, that's its gloom and doom. And what are your thoughts on this? You've seen, like, when there was no mobiles, having a phone in the house was like, wow. Having a television in the house is wow. But nowadays, people carry devices with them everywhere. And people are now want to get integrated into technology, even if it's chipping themselves with technology. What are your thoughts? Is it gloom and doom? Or is it the next evolution of mankind or humankind?
What do you mean by evolution?
Evolution.
Evil? Okay,
Not
evolution.
Evil, sorry. Evolution. Sorry, came as a...
Okay. I tell you, why don't we look at always the constructive side? Why do people have to say gloom and doom?
Yeah.
Why are they using this duality? Because they really don't know. They're just talking out of their hat, out of creating language. I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong. We've only grown. This is considered as growth. This is considered as man's ability to take us to the next level. So all this has to be integrated for the good, but not to get addicted to it. And we need to use our system. I want to tell you that many of these youngsters who are going to be listening, or anybody who's going to be listening, whatever age there is, please find your destiny. Follow and fulfill your destiny. And look how I'm going to use find, follow, fulfill destiny. I'm going to be creating an app. App is this future technology. I'm going to be using artificial intelligence, which is going to tell what each person should do every moment. And that app is going to go into your phone. I thought I had to give a laptop, or I had to give a phone, I had to give this and that. No, it's so beautiful, all this technology and artificial intelligence and all these chips, and it's become so small, you'll just wear it. And it will tell you what to do exactly at the time. Okay, now time to do this in order for you to personally succeed. I'm not talking of prompting what you're supposed to do, actually an exercise. And when you come there, if the waves of sound which have to be transmitted, or the waves of light which have to be transmitted, will come onto the phone. If I want to tap the information, then that person can feed in whatever information he wants. But if artificial is there, it can grab all the information and parameters of the individual to come there. Okay, I'm not using it for medical purposes. I'm using it to help them find, follow, and fulfill their destiny for the growth of the universe. And look, I'm so excited about this, that I'm going to design this and I'm going to do this, and I've started talking to youngsters to come and talk to me. It's going to happen, because that's the future. There'll be no medicine. What you carry, and how to tap into that solution, and how to get the results of healing. Everything is inside you. So we need to just help you to focus on that. Be committed to do that. So in fact, all this 8 hours of going to work and driving and all that was gone. Now, I achieve all the tasks, whatever I have to do in the world in 1 hour. I'm done for the day. I'm satisfied. But not that I'm lazy of the rest of the time. All the other time I'm manifesting, creating, taking myself to other levels and new levels, and helping others to go to the new levels. So all this is very important. All this technology is important. That's taking us. You know what? Man wanted to, science is man's objective to understand creation. Spirituality is the objective of man in spirituality is to understand the creator and become the creator, and they don't realize that they're all co-creators. And all this growth is for that purpose. Now, whatever all this can be done, you can do. I can be here and you can be in America without using the technology. We have all the ability to use this everywhere. If I want to work with somebody at the healing, and he talks to me and the phone, we can work with them. They have something to process, we can work with that. And we can work on any element of the body. We can go all the way to the atomic structure, electrons, that's what we all understand. But beyond electrons is pions, muons, tau, neutrinos, that's the formed particles. And then we come to the formed invisible particles. Then comes the energy. Okay? And from energy we go down to consciousness. Then we go down to awareness. Then they all have different levels. You know? Individual consciousness, individual awareness. Universal consciousness, universal awareness. Absolute consciousness, absolute awareness. And just by one simple exercise, you can go into the stage of salvation.
Okay.
You can just go to the stage of salvation. And you take years to do that salvation. You can do it. It's become so simple. And people are trying to complicate it. Teach them. Only you are to be committed in order to do that, what I tell you. And it will happen. You want to be a great manifestor and co-creator? It can happen. It exists. That state exists. You need to shift from this dimension to that dimension to that dimension. It's so simple. We don't have to be servants of our teachers to do that. Slaves of teachers? No. Everyone is equal. Everyone is independent. So, in fact, our system teaches them to deprogram, and then I want them to become independent. Only when they become independent do I consider them as successful. As long as they're dependent, they will not be successful. That doesn't mean love, relationship, respect, everything is there. But you have to stand on your own for anything. Did it help you?
Yeah, definitely. Another question comes to mind is, you've got 3 children. What do you say to them, or how do you assist them when they feel the chips are down, or their energy is low, or they feel that I give up?
They already know what Papa will tell.
And what will Papa tell?
They know already Papa will tell, and they will start practicing what Papa tells immediately. That time they'll definitely practice. Whether they practice otherwise or not, automatically they will practice. And they see, for them, even I am, a motivation. I'm an enthusiasm for them. My presence creates that. My success creates that. They feel it, and they want to be like me. For example, Nikhila, my daughter, I don't tell her anything. I leave her independent to do. I said, no, you have to do it yourself. You have to be not the shadow of Dr. Ramesh. You are your own. And she's going to take the legacy only when she's independent and own. So whatever I teach, she will take it to another level and take it further. The other children were not meant to do it, so they're not doing it. But one day they will also come. They contribute in their own way. But my wife is interested in other things, but she contributes in her own way. But this daughter of mine, Nikhila, is the one who is going to take it and take it. Now, I thought it will be somebody else, and I was searching. I didn't have to search. It was always there. And I don't have to give instructions to her. Sometimes when she comes and asks advice, and I tell something, and that irritates her also. And she gets upset also. But it's fine. Finally, she understands.
That's another interview, both of you, and we're going to discuss how your relationship is. We're going to talk about that in another interview.
Okay, that's good.
That's
so what really happens is the point of view is different of each age. That is why the clash happens. But because we have the experience, so when I say, that any message comes, anything, she's very efficient. Reply, tuck, done. I say, wait. Don't react. Especially to the ones which are controversial. Leave it. Wait. So instead of reacting, act on it. Okay. Very important to act. Take 2 days, 3 days. Nobody is asking for it in a hurry. Somebody said something nonsense. Don't react to that. Leave it. Ignore it. You'll forget it. And then when you reply, then you will give a very loving and affection. Even if somebody is upset, you need to tackle them with love, with respect. Look at them from their perspective. Look at them at what stress state they are when they wrote this. Why do they write this? What is the shortcoming? Help them to overcome that shortcoming rather than finding fault and getting angry or anything. Most important is love your enemy.
We're now going to close the interview. Final question.
Oh my God, another question.
Yeah, final question. What are you grateful for in life?
I'm grateful for everything that I have. Me, myself, my body, my mind, my heart, my family, okay, my home, my city, my country. My city is Dubai. I've grown up here, most of it, okay, but I have love for my own country from where I have come. And all the spaces, whether it's my room, whether it's my home, whether it's my community, I express my gratitude and love to all of that. I give my appreciation to that. Every day it's part and parcel of me. Appreciation to this country, then to this whole world, to the space, all the solar system, Milky Way galaxy. And then that's the outer. Then I give all the gratitude to whatever is inside me. It happens. And I don't do it in autopilot. I do it very consciously. And the more you do this, and it takes a few minutes, and that's what the solution exercise is about, 9 minutes. And when you do that, you will see the change in your life. You will see what happens. And then at the moment I have launched the happiness program on 1st January, and it happens 4 times a week. And we are trying to create happiness at all levels, and we teach you that, how to do it. And people have seen the transformations and changing. So many of them come on the channel of happiness. Then we have launched the DRPF Tele.
Yes.
Okay, that was just out of the blue. I wanted to try. I have no idea how to broadcast, how to do everything. And I thought it's so complicated. I made it simple, just my laptop. And I get that environment, and I speak to people, and I'm becoming more confident. I know my dress sense, everything. It's all happening naturally, and I'm growing and getting better and better. So that was the telly, so that to give the free program for everybody to come and listen and benefit, and we help people to get into this thoughtless, doubtless, stressless state. So that's the program. So I'm so thrilled of doing that, and I'm doing it because I'm grateful to everyone. And if they were not there, somebody who was listening to me, I would have also not grown. And I grow because of doing whatever I do, and that's why I do it. Okay? And then I do the eternal resonant body, eternal. Do you think I was trained to do all this spiritual work? But when I go to spiritual conferences, I give them some solutions which people are literally great pundits. They say, wow, where does this come from? So everything comes from the very core of your heart, and realize that you have all the knowledge of this whole universe. You're exactly like me, only you need to awaken it. There's no difference between you or me. We are one and the same, and we have a certain unique purpose. After the unique purpose, then when you come to the absolute, it's all the same, the salvation. You don't have to die. You don't have to leave your body. You can still be in that state, evolved state, and what do you call that? The state of salvation or samadhi. The word is samadhi.
Yeah.
You can be in that state even while you're here. Everything can be possible. Everything is under your control. We need to realize that. Was I educated? Do I have teachers? Have I read the books? No. So if I can do it, you can do it. That's all I have to say to you. If I, at this age of 66, don't wear eyeglasses to read, isn't that incredible?
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah. So when my vision starts getting blurred, I know Dr. Ramesh is not working on himself and he's cheating. So I go to the eye doctor. Doctor, your eyesight is getting weak. You need to have glasses. Okay. So I'll put the drops. You come back for the lenses after a few days. And also he says, I know what you will do in a few days. I said, what? So I go back and my vision becomes perfect because I immediately start practicing. It is our ability to practice and bring our potential to the highest which gives us a perfect state of balance and integration to perform in this world.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And for all the viewers, the listeners, how do they contact you?
Oh, let them contact you.
Fair enough. They can contact you.
I'm not here for marketing and sales, but have you noticed all you business guys? I made a tremendous sale just now. And all the time we are selling, please understand, even if you're not a salesman, all the time we are selling, whether it's to the children, to the wife, to the husband. In fact, the first time I really sold myself to my wife by being the best. And when she agreed, it's done. But unfortunately, when you agree, we do not maintain it. You have to maintain the relationship. You need to continuously, just like you maintain your family relationship, same thing you have to do with the sale, same thing you have to do with the banking and everything.
Customer relationship.
It's not customer relationship.
This
It's
is
much
wife
more.
relationship.
So just like you have the relationship with wife and children, you have to have relationship with the people and fulfill their wants. That's all. Fulfill their wants and be available for them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so
Thank you for listening to the show. For more information about the show, about our services, or about our guests, please feel free to connect with me. My website is roitalks.com and email address is roi@roitalks.com. That is roi@roitalks.com. Have a wonderful, wonderful life.